What is your current relationship status? Are you approaching your relationships today from a biblical lens or from a biblical perspective? Do you think that, were you not open to premarital sex? Do you think that it is cheating if you're in a relationship and your significant other, in this case, your girlfriend or the person you're courting, your wife, is posting bikini pics? Is that infidelity? Is she cheating? Do you believe, is it okay does a man have some authority, or can he make a request as to what his wife or the person he's quoting wears? Do all men cheat? What would be some tips or a tip or two you can give us that maybe you're using right now to find a spouse? So hookup culture, polygamy, living together before marriage.
All that sounds great. No, I'm just
You're now listening to the No Pills Podcast, your best resource for cultivating meaningful, healthy, long-lasting, romantic relationships that bloom into strong marriages. Welcome to No Pills. Welcome to No Pills. Love fully scripted. We back, beloved. Your man, God's man, G-man, brother Gordon, and I'm not alone today. Got my brother Jacob here, man.
Hey, how you doing?
Doing good, my brother. Thanks for coming by and checking me out, spending some time with me. As I promised you over here at No Pills, we want to get real people, real life people, everyday people like you and me to come through and give us their input, advice, their observations about relationships. And Jacob is one of those people. Are you originally from Kentucky?
Yeah.
You are. Your whole life?
Yep.
Really?
Yep, born and raised.
All right, cornbread, cornfed, right here in Kentucky. What is the best part about Kentucky that you like? Anything about what do you like about Kentucky?
I don't know. We don't live in the country, but there's a lot of really scenic areas. I don't know. I'm into the farmland, driving through the back roads and stuff like that. It's just beautiful.
Beautiful,
so,
yeah. Outdoorsy type guy.
Yeah, to an extent, certain things.
Things. Your upbringing. Siblings, no siblings, mom, dad, together, separated. Give me the background. What's going on with the upbringing?
Pretty sure, obviously, some a long time ago, but obviously, but yeah, I think my parents ended up getting divorced when I was 4.
Oh, you were small. Yeah, you were small.
Yeah, I was real young, so that's kind of why I don't. But it's not something I try to bring up and talk to my mom about.
Yeah. Mom, what happened? Give me the details. Yeah.
But so there was 100% raised by my mom after that. Lived with her and
siblings.
I have a sister, but it's not from my mom.
Okay, your dad's side.
Yeah. Okay. So my
do you guys know each other?
Yeah. So my dad was married once before my mom.
Okay, all right.
And then they had a daughter, and then which is how I said my half sister.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we know each other. She's I think 11 years older than me.
Okay, so 11 years. Yeah, that sounds like me and my siblings in reverse. But these are all the dynamics that I think impact our relationships and our dating and how we do that and how we handle that. So more on that later. All right. And did you guys grow up going to church at all? Yeah,
I mean, a little bit. When I was little, we did I started getting into a lot of sports and stuff.
Okay.
When I was 6, I think.
6.
I started trying all the sports out,
Wow, you started early. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so I got, tried out the football, the basketball, t-ball, soccer, and then kind of had to narrow it down a little later and ended up sticking with soccer. I think I probably tried other sports for about a year or two, and then soccer was kind of the sport I played growing up. So when you play a lot of sports, at least then we weren't quite, I guess having the walk we would want with God.
Okay, all right. So kind of more sports focused, you're saying, versus.
Yeah, so I mean, there's a lot of times we're playing sports on the Sabbath and stuff like that. And I mean, didn't believe in working on it, but I don't know. I guess there's like the Holy Spirit speaks to you slowly over time. You start
conviction starts to settle in. Yeah, for sure.
And when I was little, I didn't.
You didn't know no better. Was your mom was she a pray before meals, bedtime type mom?
That was I guess no.
No.
No,
No, I said okay.
But no, like and we didn't go to church like every week or anything. Cause like I said, sports took up a lot of that. But like I don't know. It's hard to remember that far back, but I do remember, we went occasionally and stuff like that.
But it was a godly presence. I mean, you knew about church though. I mean, so she had some type of,
Oh yeah. And my grandma was, kind of influential in that. And, so like we went we probably went probably once or twice every 2 months, just because sports, and then off season maybe more.
Right.
It wasn't until I think probably around like high school age or so, if I remember correctly. Like I said, it's been a while.
Yeah.
But I think I asked, I was like, can we start going to church more often?
Wow.
I don't know. I don't know why. I can't remember the reasoning why, but I was like, yeah, like, I asked to go more. And so we did. We started going like more consistently and stuff.
Wow.
But yeah, so then from then it kind of became like, I guess, a more consistent thing.
Yeah, that's awesome. Now, did you do sports all the way into high school, like into college? Like, we're just
anywhere that I probably could have gotten like scholarship to play. Wasn't like when I was like 19, I was like, I'm not going away from home. I'm staying close.
That's
like
crazy.
I couldn't
do it.
Couldn't leave my mom. So
leave your mom?
Yeah.
Oh man. So wait, would you call yourself a mama's boy, or would you think?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
100%.
Yo, man, listen. I was just back in New York, spent a week back home, and got to see my mom, my grandma, my in-laws, and everything like that. And oh man, it was a good time with my mom, man. I think it's important to spend time with your mom. You know what I mean? With your parents, whoever's around is available, because you're not gonna have them forever. No. It can go either way. So, all right, a little bit of a mama's boy. That's all right. We still love you, brother. That's good stuff. Work. What do you do for work?
Now I work. Currently, I work in, like, I guess inside sales is like
inside sales,
like the technical term.
Okay, yeah, inside sales.
So yeah, it's pretty cool.
How long you been doing that?
3 years now.
3 years,
or just about 3 years.
Okay, 3 years. And what do you think like your top hobby is now? What do you enjoy doing the most?
That's tough, because it's like I have a lot of stuff I've come to find out that I just really like, but there's 24 hours in a day.
All right, give me the top three. Give me the top three things you like to do.
Right now, probably the gym.
Gym, yep.
Golf and run.
Golf and run. Yeah. I've never, you know what? I haven't done golfing yet.
I've
been to Top Golf. That might count. I've been to Top Golf.
That's fun.
I've hit the ball a little bit. I've been able to get it down out there on the green,
We'll have to go.
We should go. We should go. There's one around here, right?
Yeah, there is. They just about a year ago opened one up.
Yo, the first time I went was in Ohio. I was out in Ohio I was doing work for the ministry, and then I ended up going to Top Golf while I was there.
Oh.
Had a good time. It's a good time. All right. As everyone can see, Jacob is the average young man today. How old are you, my brother?
28.
28. Listen, I'm giving you prime from the crop, fresh, young. This is it right here. Ideal person you're going to meet out there in the world. All right, 28 years old. What is your current relationship status?
Yeah, I guess I'm single.
Single. Okay. All right. And how long have you been single?
For probably like 99% of my life.
All right, cool. This is good to know. We want to know. All right. So 99% of your life, single. Wait, so what's the 1%? Was there like
2 months?
It's like a 2-month deal in there?
Yeah.
Okay. How old were you when you had the 2-month window, the 2-month deal?
19.
19. Okay, yeah, 19.
So still nice and young and dumb.
Still nice and young and dumb. And you only got 2 months. All right. Well, we could talk more about that later. All right. So 2 months. And then have you enjoyed that, like being single 99%? Is that something is that intentional, planned, or is just how it's kind of worked out for you?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess I've always been kind of like shy. So,
You said shot?
No, shy.
Oh, shy.
Yeah,
shy. Okay,
so
I was like, shy.
I've never been very good at like trying to talk to somebody I was interested in, which I mean, I went to like public high school. So I mean, a lot of the, it was just a little different. But like,
public high school had like either you were a jock, you were a fashion mogul. That's how my high school was. It was crazy.
Yeah, you definitely have like your categories you kind of fall into.
Yeah, I didn't fall into any. I felt like so.
No, I don't know. Yeah, I kind of felt like I fell into some, but probably I don't know. I was a different person in high school, man.
Yeah, really?
I was kind of I say I was shy, but I did a lot of stupid stuff.
Okay. So, okay. All right.
Like to get attention.
But never from the ladies though. So
no, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I guess I'm not. I think I'm not very perceptive to like notice if like if somebody's interested in me or whatever. I probably would not have noticed it all. So I mean, but I don't know. So like it was one of those things like growing up with friends, and I had a lot of like. Well, I guess I was fortunate. I had like a fair amount of friends and stuff from sports and other things. And it's like, they always, they always had girlfriends. Interesting. And so like, I was always the one that didn't have a girlfriend, and it was kind of like, I don't know, it was kind of hard because it's like, why did they have like, why is it so easy for them to be able to talk to somebody and get a girlfriend?
Because you're doing sports,
and like, I don't know, I'm like, maybe didn't put in effort. I don't know. It's probably a good thing though. Now looking back, like, I'm glad I didn't.
Yeah, I did, and I would probably take back a lot of my effort that I put into my younger years.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
So I think it was a little bit of a blessing looking back that I didn't, kind of, I guess. But I wondered, like, like, why does it seem like my friends always just have like girls that seem to be like after them and stuff, and I'm always single, and then had that, I guess, once I graduated, so I was 19, and like, I never had somebody that there were some other things like going on for me at the time that like affected me emotionally.
Okay, all right.
And then that's like in that time period, the whole thing of like my friends always being in relationships and me not started to get to me when I got to college, like really bad.
So do you think if everyone else was not in a relationship, you probably wouldn't have thought about it? You'd have just accepted it? Like, it wouldn't have come across your mind? You'd have been fine single, you think? If everyone else was just single around you?
Actually, yeah.
Probably.
I think so.
A little peer pressure there, huh? A little peer
Maybe.
pressure.
I've never, that's a question I've never like thought about. So I'm trying to like, possibly, like, I mean, I guess because when you like see everybody else, you start to be like, well, why do I struggle here?
Right.
But
so wait, tell me about so what happened in the 2-month window?
Like an emotional state I was in, and then I like met this person at that time, and I had never had somebody like show interest in me before.
Right, that's new, that's exciting, right?
And and I guess like being me at 19, I was like, oh, this and like it was probably should have been red flags how interested, but me being young and not very intelligent and like wanting to be in a relationship. Was like, oh, this is the greatest thing ever, and so yeah, I mean, and then taught like, I don't know, we might have like we called it talking,
we did, we called it,
yeah. So and then talking for like a week, and then we were like boyfriend girlfriend dating, and I guess come to find out the part like she had just recently got out of a relationship with somebody she was with for like a long time in high school, and
oh, that's even worse.
Yeah, like I think they dated like all the way through high school or something like that.
I would question if she was still even over, really over that guy.
Yeah, well,
you know what I mean?
Well, there's your answer right there. That's why it didn't work out. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure
that's easy. That's an easy one to see.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Yeah. But looking back, hindsight's 20/20. Me saying that now as a grown man, right?
No, yeah, and I just I was just, I guess, really gullible and like naive, and it was like, oh, this is the great, like I like this girl and everything, and
it's not like you did anything wrong though. I mean, if someone says they're interested, they show interest, you show interest back. I mean, you would think we're going to be together,
Yeah, but it was like, I don't know, like I guess knowing what I know now, it was such a bad decision, just so bad. Because I mean that affected me for like a long time after.
Yeah. Was it kind of like heartbreaking type thing? Like,
yeah, I made some poor decisions.
Yeah.
And during that, some other things. It was kind of like what do you call it? What's the term in like drawing a blank now? Like where something happens and it causes something else to happen, and then something else happens due to that. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Chain reaction.
Yeah. I think some emotional stuff I was going through led to that, and then that led to some even more bad decisions and emotional issues.
So let me ask you a question, because this is good for my listeners out here.
Yeah.
Would you say, looking back, do you think you were too young?
Oh, definitely. I think like the person
I was 19, so you feel like 19, a little too young still.
Yeah, I think personally it seems like till most people are past their college age, it seems like it's too young, because there's so much changing that goes on. Like just in like most people don't necessarily know what they want to do with their careers. Like some people are still deciding, and some people go like, I know plenty of people who've gone to college and got their degree in something they thought they were going to go into, and now they do work something completely different. And it's like, okay, so clearly you didn't know where you were going to be at. And so to me, it's like, I don't know. I think especially right out of high school, I think high school is definitely too early. Right out of high school is still, I think, too early. I think even in college, I think, I'm not saying it can't like work, God can do miracles. Right. So
miracle has to be a miracle.
But But I'm saying, it's just one of those things. It's like, I just think that you haven't experienced life yet.
All right. So looking back, let's be honest. You and I looking back on I wasn't in the church then when I was younger. My goodness, I was totally into females. Like that was my thing. Like it wasn't sports. It wasn't art class. It wasn't chess. I wasn't part of the chess team. I was about females. If I had a job, it was so I can get money to go be with the females were, okay? So you and I saying this now as older men, to our younger listeners, they're like, what are you guys talking about? I'm not waiting until I'm 30, right? They're like all over it. They're they're in their 20s. They're like, what? That's madness. But I will say this, just to piggyback on a relationship is a responsibility, man.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially emotionally, and you gotta, I want to say to the audience, like, don't just leave your heart to be broken again and again and again, then think you're going to be able to bounce back from that and then enter into a marriage or a solid relationship.
Yeah.
So, one of my biggest concerns would be the experience you had and that I've had myself too. It's like, man, you get into this relationship, you're all in, your heart's all in it, you're ready to go, and then boom, heartbroken. It's like, how many times do you think you can really do that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Before you're damaged.
Yeah.
Like, before you're damaged good. So, okay, so talk to me about, let me give you the premise of the show. That I'm going to have a few more questions around this, the relationship, the single status. All right, so over here at No Pills, we have a premise. And I want you to let me know if you agree or disagree with this premise, all right? Because I think it sounds like you were where I was and you were not using this premise and principle when you were younger. Okay, you buy a car.
Yeah.
You get an owner's manual.
Yeah.
That owner's manual comes from the manufacturer. It tells you when to get the oil changes, etc., how to maintain, operate the vehicle, boom, at its top peak, to keep it at top performing, peak performance. Our relationships are the car. The Bible is the owner's manual. God is the manufacturer.
Yeah, I agree with that.
You agree with that?
Definitely.
All right. So my thought is, welcome to No Pills, friends. My thought is that we're out here trying to do all this dating, relationships, love, but we're not looking to the owner's manual to do it right. And then the vehicle's breaking down. We're losing oil. The pressure gauge is off. We got high temperatures going on. We're not getting oil change. We don't know what's going on. We don't know how to maintain, operate. Don't even know what love is. We don't know what to even put in the vehicle, right? We're not even putting the right fuel in. So that's what I desired for this podcast to kind of bring to this whole dating conundrum, relationship, just Tasmanian devil of love that's going on out there that I see to the table. So you agree with that. So it sounds like, correct me if I'm wrong, how old were you when you started to agree with this principle of the Bible, God, owner's manual?
I don't know. I guess I hadn't looked at it necessarily in that specific
lens.
Yeah.
Okay. At what point do you? I guess maybe I got ahead of myself. Are you approaching your relationships today from a biblical lens or from a biblical perspective?
Yeah.
Okay. Definitely. So when did that start in your life? When did you say okay, I'm gonna start doing this God's way, or I need to enter a relationship from a biblical perspective?
Probably 23, 24.
Okay.
Maybe.
All right.
But I was like, maybe not. I don't know. I guess I had not. I thought it was possible. There's always that thought, you could get with them and they might, you could date them and they might be converted later on, kind of thing.
Missionary dating. We've spoken about this before. Do not do missionary dating. And I say this, and I know there's 100 of you or more doing missionary dating right now. Shame on you. Yes.
But I don't think I came to the realization that that was bad. Hey, that's really not a good idea until I was probably 24, 25. So in between there though, I never, I might have texted some people for a week or something but never.
Okay.
Yeah. Never really even when I text them, I knew for the most part, I was this isn't not going to go anywhere,
Okay. So let me pull this back. So I want to say two things to you. One, it sounds like maybe you being intentional now, you didn't find yourself in relationships now because you didn't want to be unequally yoked in a relationship. So it had to be the right person.
Yeah, I think part of it was that because I talked to some people who weren't of the same belief system and stuff, or kind of I had maybe I said texted somebody or something, right. But in the back of my mind I was I'll never this will never work out. Partially because I'd have to explain this and they're gonna think this is all weird,
Yeah.
And so it was I was this isn't gonna work. You know, like I just like I knew it wasn't gonna work. Yeah, so it's like I couldn't put much effort in, knowing like something's not gonna work.
Right.
But
do you think the combination of verbalized peer pressure from all the rest of your friends being in a relationship and this attention, like kind of in the mental, the emotional state you were in, do you think those two components also help push you into that relationship? Like, oh, finally, I'm not going to be alone anymore.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like the loneliness was hitting hard.
Hitting hard.
Yeah. And like led a little bit to some like, we'll just say like led to some depression there for a bit.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely could be. Yeah.
But and that was before that. And then like obviously after, I was like, well, this is horrible.
How many people do you think are out there right now in that place, being alone and feeling depressed? Because let me say this before you answer that question. I can see that very easily lending itself to depression, or being like, even if you're not even wanting to be in a relationship, just always being the third wheel.
It's not fun because even after like, you know, after I kind of like realized, because like I said, probably like 23, 24 or so, I was kind of like, yeah, like I'm just gonna wait. Like I'm not gonna even concern myself with these people anymore. Like
relationship, you're saying? Yeah,
relationship wise. And I had still at that point still had like my friends had changed that I hung out with, but like all of them started getting married and I think I've been a groomsman in 6 weddings.
Ooh, someone is relating to this right now. Listen, if you hit the chat, let me know how many times you've been the bride. What is it? Bridesmaid or a groomsman in a wedding? Hit me in the chat. Let me see how many. 6 times?
Yeah, 6 times.
Yo, that's tough.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it definitely is like definitely the, what is it? Like always the bridesmaid, the bridesmaid, never the bride. I felt like always the groomsman, never the groom.
Yeah.
But
so, listen, the only thing that's worse than being single is being married to the wrong person.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Like, I mean, I haven't been there, but I can just like.
Look, marriage is not easy, man. I was married for almost 20 years. You get married, and I wasn't married to the right person. You get married to the wrong person, man, it could be misery. Because I think about all the difficulties I had. We got married young, brother. We were 22 and 20. Okay? And I think about all the difficulties we had in that marriage. I couldn't imagine having been with somebody who wasn't on the same page with me. Like that would, like I have friends that are unequally yoked, married, miserable, brother. Ends up in divorce. It's like you waste so much time arguing, being sad, like the things that being married but being lonely. You know what I mean? Feeling isolated, feeling alone, feeling not heard, blah, blah, blah. Listen, this is, so a lot of times in our singleness, we want to cry, we kind of complain, like, oh, Lord, I'm so single. It's like, yeah, but if you were married to the wrong person, it might not be too delightful either. Yeah. You know? So waiting on the Lord is good business.
Be miserable, and you could anymore, you could suffer some serious financial struggles too.
For sure. All right. Have you tried online dating apps? You're lonely, you're single. Have you tried online dating apps? Have you ever tried online dating apps?
I mean, yeah, like way back. Like you know, about early 20s kind of thing. 20s? Like that's what I'm saying.
Do you remember what ad it was? Do you remember what app it was?
So
it's a boy. I did a whole podcast on dating apps, by the way.
Because it's so embarrassing.
Why is it embarrassing?
Because everybody.
It's something singles.
I know, but it's like.
Go ahead.
Like we all know what people use those apps for, you know, like more to like, at least from my understanding, it was for the hookup.
It's for the hookup, more for the hookups.
And people are like, but yeah, you know, friends are like, you should get on like this Bumble or this Tinder, and like you could actually meet some people and you know. And I was like, yeah, right, you know, like.
Well, I think Tinder. So this app classification in my studies. Okay, so Tinder is kind of a well-known hookup app, apparently. Bumble's like maybe. Not so much so. And then when you get into, what are the other ones called? There's like 3 or 4 other ones I can't think of right now. Some with an H, and I can't think of them right now. Sorry, gang. But I know a bunch of Christian friends married via an app, married via online dating. No lie. Yeah. I tell you the truth, my brother. So maybe it is what you make of it. But all right, how long did you give it a try for? Like a week? A month?
I mean, it's one of those things like I got on there and didn't really seriously make I literally had my friends make my profile.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah. So and they're like, you gotta put these kind of pictures in there, and you gotta like do this stuff, like, all right, whatever. So I made it, and they're like, well, you gotta get on, like literally, because I made the profile, and I never like, because you know it's a swipe thing. You get on there and swipe, and like
never swipe, never got on.
Well, I mean, I just felt like I was wasting time. Like you know, it's because and like I maybe matched with like very few people on there.
Listen.
And like we would like maybe message like for a couple days and they'd stop talking. I'm like, this is just a waste of my time.
Ghosted.
Yeah, well, and it's
Ghosted.
like, I mean, I didn't, but I also like, luckily didn't let any, like, I had no emotional tie in this.
Right,
like, you
for
know what I'm
sure.
saying?
Why
Like,
would you? Why would you?
yeah, and then two is like, I had a lot of people on those apps, like at least there a lot of, I don't know, aren't necessarily Christian,
For sure. There's
and
some
like,
Christian apps, Christian singles, mingles.
yeah, but it's like the stuff,
Plenty of fish, plenty
the,
of piranhas.
the pictures you see on there aren't even like,
Yeah.
like some of that is even like, it's just a turnoff. The girl might be like attractive, but it's like when you see her smoking a cigarette, I'm like, nope.
No, thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. Or like drinking and stuff.
Drinking, smoking,
And
half naked.
Yeah. And I'm like, well, because my thing is like, if you see them on there and they're like posting this out there on a profile and they're like in a bikini and like you can see everything.
Yeah. Talk to me.
I'm like, I don't really know if I want you showing everything off to everybody else if we were in a relationship, Like,
brother, you're getting right ahead of my question. All right, so look, I'm gonna piggyback over that. Do you think that it is cheating if you're in a relationship and your significant other, in this case, your girlfriend or the person you're courting, your wife, is posting bikini pics? Is that infidelity? Is she cheating? Is she being unfaithful? You're in a relationship.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't like it for sure.
Wouldn't like it.
Wouldn't like it. I don't know.
Wouldn't like it.
I don't know if I would say, because I mean, I get it depends. Like if she's going for, I guess somewhat like for like classifying it as like infidelity, right? Maybe I don't know.
Wouldn't go that far.
I don't. If she's posting it because she wants to like to try to get other people to message her, then like totally. But I mean,
well, why is she even posting it?
Well, some girls are crave attention. You know what I'm saying? They crave the like.
Like they crave the like.
You know what I'm saying? They want the likes. You know what I'm saying?
It's the likes. I think attention whores. Attention whores.
Yeah,
male or females can be attention whores.
Yeah,
attention whores.
But I mean, yeah, I like 100% would not like it.
Would not like it.
I don't know, but like I don't know, like I don't know if I would like classify it as.
All right, so
it would definitely be something I like would.
I don't want another man seeing my wife naked.
No.
Right? So men, let's be clear here, friends. We always are. Men have different fetishes, different parts of a woman's anatomy that they're attracted to. You know what I'm saying? So for example, some men are really into legs, some men really like feet, some men really like, right? So I'm not expecting a woman to have to walk around with a bag over her, but I think if you're doing it for attention, and you know that by showing your flesh, you're going to gain attention, I'm questioning the motive of that. And the fidelity that should exist in our relationship. Like, why do you want to share that with everyone else? And why do you want to have a stranger, a man lusting over you, who could be doing God knows what to the image or with the image?
That's true.
That's crazy, brother. Like you're broken inside.
Yeah, I guess, like, well, I never like thought, like, I'd thought of the question of like, is it good to like post pictures like that? And I'm like against it, but I never thought of it as like cheating. But I guess more as you explained it, I'm kind of like, yeah, it does. It feels like, in a sense, being unfaithful. It's like, why are you showing other people this?
Listen, let's say,
and not like, you know what I'm saying? Like, why are we sharing? Why are we sharing? Why are we sharing these? Like, this is supposed to be intimate stuff between, like, I guess what would be me and the
my
woman.
wife.
Yeah, or the wife.
My wife. What's the problem?
Yeah, it's
brother. Let's say your wife has a mole on her buttocks, or somewhere on her inner side of her thigh, and now the whole world, like, what? No one else should know that but me.
That's true.
Come on, bro. Like, let's be honest. Like, what? Oh yeah. Look, think about it. A guy could walk up to you and be like, "Hey, man, your wife has that heart-shaped mole there on her." Like, what?
Oh yeah.
Like, come on, that's crazy. But that's crazy. No, I don't. Biblically, cover thy nakedness. I don't find one scripture that encourages nudity to any degree. It's crazy. I think it's crazy. I think we don't see it because we are so locked in and contaminated by the world around us that basically our standards get lowered. It's like,
it's like normal.
It's like normal. It's like, okay, when you're comparing, nude beach versus Miami Beach, it's like, oh yeah, you think you're modest, but it's the same thing. You know what I mean? So I think, I can't rationally understand what would be a good motive for that. Yeah. What's the need? Why do I need to post a bikini pic, me naked, shirtless, topless, as a man even, so women can, like, how's that gonna make my wife feel? Yeah. Come on, man. She don't like that. And I think a lot of times we say, oh, well, it's online. Yeah, people hook up, man. People meet. You run into people from online. Like, it happens. You know, the apps are even made that way, especially some dating. What was that dating app that was crazy? It was an app that was like, it was showing you like your location and everybody around your location. This stuff's crazy, brother.
That's scary, man.
That's super scary. You could get yourself killed messing around, murdered. So all right, so I'm going to piggyback on that. Do you believe, does a man have some authority, or can he make a request as to what his wife or the person he's quoting wears? Can he say, hey, babe, take that off. Don't put that on. Don't wear that. Okay. All the feminists, listen up. What do you?
Oh, yeah, I know, right?
What do you think?
Yeah, I mean,
and if so, why? Or if not, why? So do you think you say, hey, can you not put that on? Like, that's not, or don't put that on.
Yeah, I think if you can.
Okay.
Or you like.
And why?
But I think obviously you should be tactful about it first.
Okay.
Like, I don't think you like, if they're walking out, be like, hey, no, you're not leaving with that. Like, no, don't approach like that. Be like, hey,
all right,
look, I'm noticing something. Like, I think you need to point out, because sometimes, you know, people just don't know. Like, maybe I wouldn't like, and I think it goes both ways. Like, if a guy's going to leave the house to go to the gym or something, and he's wearing, you know, I know it's a little different for guys because like obviously we have
Speedos.
Yeah.
Speedo. Like, what?
Well, yeah, like
shorts. Man.
There you go. Like if you're going to if you're gonna go to a water park or something, or to the beach or something with your
family, your significant other, your
like, and she's like, hey, yeah, don't wear that Speedo because
don't wear that Speedo, bro.
People can like you're not leaving much to the imagination.
Okay, and you would respect that.
Yeah. Okay. But I mean, and I think like it may be, you know, at least as from a guy's perspective, I would, you know, there's probably things I wouldn't even notice that I'm like, oh, I didn't realize that was kind of giving off that perception, you know?
Okay.
And maybe to some extent, some like women might do that too, you know? And I think, I don't think it's wrong to ask it.
Okay. So why do you think, well, not why do you think, as a man, why are you asking that? Why do we care about that? Why are you concerned about what your girlfriend, person you're courting, dating is wearing? What do you think is, why are we even concerned about? Because the feminists are saying, leave me alone, my body, my choice. Don't put me in bondage. I wear whatever I want. Every man just needs to control himself.
Yeah, I mean, I think it comes back to kind of somewhat what you talked about earlier. Like why are you, like, some stuff is like intimate depending on what they're wearing, right? Like
good word, intimate.
Like, you know, some stuff is like meant for like to be seen anyway inside of like marriage, you know? And you're like showing a lot of that off to other people that you don't even know. So, like, you know, like if you're going to the beach, I guess the best thing I can, like, example or whatever you want to call it is like, you know, bikinis are, they're not much there. They're just
like less than underwear.
Yeah,
bro.
it's a couple of strings with the little pieces of fabric.
Yo, it's wild. It's wild.
And
it's wild.
I mean, it's like, how much different is that than just walking out there naked at that point? You know what I'm saying? Like, most people can see everything that they would, you know.
I want to just go back to what you just said, because I think this is a huge problem. You said that, you know, this is intimate and it should only be seen or only occur within a marriage. Mm-hmm. I think this is a foreign concept to like the younger generation online. You know, like the idea that there's some part of me that is only to be revealed in a marriage is like foreign. Like, no, just do whatever we want. Mm-hmm. Dress however we want, put whatever we want on, not on, and it's just okay. I think that's a perfect reality that I'm not sure the younger generation, even the old, everyone's crazy. Online's made everybody crazy, okay? Everyone wants to be a model. It's crazy. That is a true statement, man. And we don't have those type of moral standards and boundaries. I think they're falling away, you know, by the wayside. That someone would think of themselves like, no, this is only okay within this context. Mm-hmm. Where it's like everything's okay. I mean, there's just no, just do whatever you want. It's wild.
Was like, I guess too, it's like, I don't know, I think like if you take that intimacy away from like the marriage and you like share that with everybody else, then like what makes, like, it kind of takes some of the specialness of the marriage and the intimacy you have with the other person away too. It's like not as special.
Not as special.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, you know, what makes something special is it like, it's with just you and her and not with everyone. But then when you start making that with everyone, then it makes what was special not as special.
It's a supply-demand scenario, right? It's like, man, if everybody has access to a thing or can get a hold of it, the value of it depreciates.
Yeah. Decreases.
But if there's only one in the world and only one person has it, it's like it becomes a Van Gogh painting.
Yeah, that's true. That's a,
you know what I'm saying?
Hadn't
It's
thought
like,
about that way. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it's kind of, if you're in this is no pills, but the red pill space will tout that all the time, and rightfully so. You know, not the religions, two other faiths. It's like just a reality of like, you know, of religions, not that red pill. Well, I guess red pill could be a religion, I don't know. But it's just a reality. I think it's a real concept. Like, yeah, if everyone has access to you, goes for men too. Like, who values you then at that point? What value do you have if everyone's had you? If anybody can have you? Yeah. Okay, so online dating apps, you would not promote to anybody. Don't waste your time.
Well, not any of the ones that everybody knows. Because I think there are some like I mean, I've seen, I guess personally, some like, you know, specific religious denomination apps. Yeah. And I have heard of some people having like some success on there, but even those, I would still like. I think you should go. Be careful.
Yeah, be careful. You know, be careful. Okay, so be careful. So the counselors, be careful there with the dating app you choose to use, if any at all.
Yeah, because I mean, you never know. Like, at the end of the day, it's like you never know who's on the other end of that screen. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, and what's real there?
What's real?
So I mean, I think you should for women too. Like, be careful, because I mean, like, let's say you meet somebody and they seem like great on the app, and it's like some kind of really Christian app, same denomination, and this guy's like amazing, but like you gotta be careful, like. What happens when you need to go like actually in person meet this guy? Like, are you gonna fly? Because usually online is because it's long distance, right? Like, are you gonna fly and meet this guy and you've never seen him or never like FaceTime? Don't know anybody who knows. Don't even know if it's like really him. You know, like so it's just like I think you careful. Just got to be careful.
So there was a unfortunate story I ran across not too long ago. I think it was old news too. Young lady went out with a guy first time, went back to a hotel room with him, and he murdered her. Put her in the suitcase and took her outside and then left the hotel with her body. It's like, man, that was one encounter. You know what I'm saying? Like, her last encounter, didn't even know what's going to happen. So I'm like, yeah, I'm a little old school, man. I think it's good to have touch points, man, to know there's other people that know this person that you can talk to and look at and see. Who wants to get catfished? You know, like... all these filters and like, what do you even really look like? Like, come on, get out of here. Have you ever gone on a blind date before? Anybody ever blind date you before?
No.
No, yeah, that just sounds scary to me.
I don't think so, no.
Okay. Have you ever used any social media apps? Like Instagram is probably more like most people would say Instagram has been used more as a dating app than anything else. Has anyone ever reached out to you like via like Instagram, or have you met anybody via Instagram before?
No, I mean, like, I haven't done a lot of I've always been somebody that, like, even before, I've always just, I guess, been better with meeting people in person. In person, yeah. I've never been somebody that likes to text people a lot or, like, try to, because it's, like, hard to, you know, like, stuff can get lost in text and, like, what you're meaning, like how you say something, you know? I mean, we got emojis, but it's, like, you know.
Emojis.
But, that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? But, like... I don't know. It's different. I prefer like being in person and meeting somebody and like actually connecting, having like see how you actually interact with the person, you know?
For sure.
And then too, it's like, you know, it's just, you get to see how they interact with people around them and stuff. It's just, I don't know. I've always been that way. And I've always like, even before I knew anything, it's just always been like, I always wanted to kind of be friends with somebody first, or at least get to like meet them in person. And then like determine, you know, if I'm interested beyond that, other than obviously the time that I made mistakes. Yeah. You know, like that was, I don't know. That was just one of those things, I guess.
It's a glitch, man. It's a glitch. It happens every boop. So wait, with you saying that, you went to a conference recently.
Yeah.
All right, tell me about this conference, man. What is this conference you went to? What was the purpose of it? What was it? Did you enjoy it? Did you not enjoy it? Tell us, inform us about this conference you went to.
Yeah. So it was like I guess like put on by a place called, or a company called like Restoration International that like focus in like family ministries. That's kind of like their thing. Okay. Is, you know, focus on, I guess like, you know, families, right? Like making sure there's good connections there, but went to this thing called the XY conference. Yeah. I don't know. At first I was kind of like,
was you sure about it?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Some people that I trust, you know, some really good friends of mine.
Came at a high recommendation.
Yeah. They said you should go, you know, and I didn't really know anything about it. I knew it was kind of like, you know, for young adults and kind of for singles. So, you know, you obviously get that vibe of like matchmaking, you know?
Okay, was it pressure? Do you feel like that was pressure? Like, I don't know. I think that would throw me off. Like,
Well,
I would feel pressure. Like every person I spoke to, I would feel like there's pressure here.
so I guess I'll kind of answer that in a second because I'll tell you about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, like going into, you know, I don't know. I've been like hopeful to meet somebody ever since, you know, it's been a thing. Like, and I've had doubts too. Like I've also been like, you know, maybe I'm just meant to be single and I've had that for a bit, you know, and like, maybe I'm just like supposed to, like God, like some people maybe just be meant to be single, you know, maybe there's a plan that God had for me that like meant I needed to be by myself.
Sure. Very possible.
Wasn't a fan of that plan you know.
Appreciate your honesty.
You know.
Come on, Lord.
But so, you know, I don't know, for, you know, so long I just kind of like assumed because they're, you know, I just figured that's how it was going to go. Anyway, so the conference thing was like, yeah, you know, and people like, you might meet somebody or, you know, if not, you can make friends your own age. And I'm like, I didn't want to, I knew if I went, I would be like the hopefulness. I didn't want to get let down. You know what I'm saying? And I knew if I went, I would like there was always going to be, even as much as I like try not to, there would be that hopefulness of meeting somebody. Right, you know, there's always like that would be in my head, and that would be like, man, I really hope I meet somebody.
Wow.
And so I was like really not wanting to go for that reason because I didn't want to be hopeful. I didn't want because that could like destroy the whole experience for me. You know what I'm saying? Like if I went with that aspect and then it didn't happen that way, then I would be like, this was a huge waste of time. I didn't enjoy it. And, you know, so it took me a bit to kind of like, I guess.
Get over that.
Like, yeah, set myself like reset my brain to like think in a different way for it to like be like, all right, well, maybe like try not to look at like maybe just meeting. Cause I mean, even where I go to church, you know, where we go to church now, there's not a lot of people that are 28. There's 2 other people there I know that are 28 and they're married, and that's it. Everybody else, I'm pretty sure, is over 5 years or more away from me in age. So
yeah, getting old, man. We're getting old.
Yeah,
I'm getting old. You're getting younger. You're getting younger. I'm getting older. Oh, that's crazy.
But no, it's
so
like
you don't have a big pool at church to pull from, right?
Yeah, well, I mean,
or
just
no pool,
in general, like people to interact with, and you know what I'm saying. It's kind of nice to have people that are your own age to just talk to. You know what I'm saying? They're kind of like at that same experience in life, and have experienced the same amount of life you have. Not that I'm saying I don't like. Learning from people who are older and have more
peers
experience.
Are nice. Have peers around you are nice.
Yeah,
you can relate.
And luckily though, like I'm super blessed with the people that are at church that are my friends there. It's been a huge blessing. So
was the interaction what you expected at the conference, or like was it good? Like was it positive?
Yeah.
Was everyone friendly? Were they not friendly? Like, you know,
I missed some flights getting down there, so I didn't even get down there for the first meeting. I missed it.
You missed the first meeting.
Yeah, so Saturday was the next one, Saturday morning.
Crazy.
And that day, and I went down there. I didn't even, because I'm like not a social, like when I like in that kind of environment, I didn't even sit with the people that were down. Like I went downstairs for the breakfast that morning. Clearly saw all these people I knew were for the XY. And I still went over to a table and sat by myself. I went over to a table, sat by myself. And
yo, brother, that defeats the whole point of going.
Yeah. Well, and just because I don't know, I'm not like I'm introverted and stuff. Like I just don't get out to go, especially like. So I was about to sit down and be like, "Hey, are you guys?" Because I was afraid they weren't for XY, but I knew they were. You know.
Okay. All right.
And and he's like, "We're all sitting over there. You can come sit with us." So I went and sat with them, and like that's the first. But then they told me they're like, "Yeah, because you and like one other person missed last night. They're kind of gonna put you on the spot when you go in there and like ask you some questions.
Bring you up to speed.
Yeah, and ask about me and stuff. So, but Tom and Elaine, like, I don't know, man. That like God's giving them a gift, man.
I was actually on a panel with them out in northern Idaho. So I got
so you kind of
with the family. They're about that. They're about getting young people connected.
And like I guess the point of it was to kind of teach people how to, like young people, how to connect, and you know, if you were to form relationships, how to like go about that in a proper way, an intentional way, and like the way that God intended, you know, and and I guess it was kind of like, you know, make sure we followed what the Bible says.
Is there any like gem that you picked up there that you would like think was like top notch practical as far as how to connect with
discussing
people?
Yeah, they talked about, you know, obviously they thought communication was one of the big takeaways I took. I mean, they presented so much information, and like I said, I guess before I say that, but like they made it really comfortable. Like I thought it was going to be awkward, but they like I said, God's given them a gift somehow to like, they made it comfortable, and we were able to meet and talk to other people without it being weird and forced and awkward. It was so organic, and like I actually got to connect with people, even like just make friends. But anyway, so they were just like, be open, be real, like don't tell like, because you want the relationship to work, don't like tell people what you want them to hear because you want it to work. Like be yourself, even if it is like a difference from the person, like you can work through it and discuss it kind of thing. And then like another one was like, be intentional. And like, in your like friendship or relationship, or to go toward a relationship, like don't just, be superficial in all your conversations and stuff when you're trying to get to know somebody.
You don't lollygag.
Like there's you need to, like for instance, I'm trying to think, like I guess kids is an easy one to go to, right? Okay. Like if one person is dead set against kids, like they do not want children ever. No
bambinos, no.
And the other person is dead set on having like 5.
Want a quiver full, yeah.
Yeah, like that might like, and they talk about that early. And they don't ever discuss it because they think it's weird or it's awkward, because like a lot, I know, like if when I was younger and stuff, or at least even now, I think if I were to talk to somebody not of the same faith or whatever, and I brought up children, it'd probably scare them away. They'd be like, he's talking about kids, and we're not, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so let's talk about.
But it's like, don't waste your time.
So this is one of my questions for you. So dating versus courting, all right? So dating, that's the world sleeping around, fornicating, sex before marriage, the whole deal, with no intention of being married. Okay? Like, it's like, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. As Christian men and women, it's a totally different ball game. It's like, I think I'm doubling down on what the Waters are saying, as far as we definitely need to be intentional and ask the right questions, I think, up front as soon as possible, so you don't end up wasting each other's time, or get into having feelings for one another and finding out like, okay, you don't even want kids, and I do. Yeah. So I think they're spot on with that. And I think that only works, though, in the framework of a Christian relationship, because you're right. In the secular world, you look like a weirdo, maybe. Yeah. Depending on your age. If you're like 40, it's okay. People get it. Yeah. Late 30s, all right. But you're 20-something, talking about babies, the secular woman, man, is like, what are you doing? What are we here for then? Yeah. Why are we here? Yeah. What are we doing? What are we doing? So shout out to them for that. Okay.
It's like, I know even when I was younger and stuff, like if you told somebody, like if you were too open about how you felt about them, like it could like, oh, he's really into me. Like, I don't know if I'm like that. Like, and it's like, I don't know. I've always been like, I just want somebody that like I can be like, let's know where we both stand here. Like, I like you, or you like me, or like we're both interested in each other. Like, why can't we say that? Why can't I tell you I'm interested in you, and that like be an okay thing, and you can say, well, I'm not there. Like, I'm not there, or I am, like, I guess it's because like the fear of rejection is always there.
Fear of rejection is there. But I think too, if depending on where the person is in their maturity level, or just there's going to be pressure, right? I think everyone's always scared of the pressure of like, does this mean we're in a relationship now? Or we're in a relationship? What does that mean? Are we going to get married? Like just, I feel like you can overthink it sometimes.
But if you're open and you discuss that, and you discuss, okay, well, like we're both interested, but that doesn't mean we're in a, like, and you like lay out like where you're
at.
We're
not married.
Yeah. I don't know. I just think it's like, you should be open and be able to discuss that. Like to me, at least that's what I personally like. I like to discuss where we both stand and where we're at in these like phases. So we're like clear,
Okay, be clear, be intentional, have good communication, kind of lay it on the line a little early maybe. All right. And then was there any exercise they had you guys doing that made it so comfortable? Was it like...
Well, we did go on like a hike and stuff, so people got to like go and like, people can just talk on a hike. So that was really nice. That was the Sabbath afternoon hike. And then they have a meeting and they discuss stuff. And then part of like when they discuss things, they'll let it be open for people to offer answers too. They'll be like, all right, so for the women in the room, we got this question, or we wanted to talk about this, or they'll bring up some points and like, what do you guys think? And what do these people think? And some of the stuff, they'd go around the room and ask us to like write down, like one day was like, we had to write down what we found attractive in somebody else. Okay. Like things that we found attractive. Okay. And so we would write the list down, and then they made us like, say it. Well, then we didn't have to say all of it, but they said say a few things that you might feel comfortable with. But this was like a couple of days later, so we were a little more comfortable then. and like I made a lot of friends, and that's what I initially, like I said, I kind of like got my brain trained like, all right, no hope for like literally I'm going here to meet other friends and to make friends my same age. It'll be nice to like meet some people and
do some networking.
Yeah, and I did, and I got met a lot of great people. They were all wonderful. Listen, and so I'm hoping I'll get to see them at like GYC or something this year, and that'll be wonderful.
The scripture says, if you want to make friends, you must show yourself friendly. Do you think that men and women can be friends? I
think so. Okay. So I guess it depends. Yeah, I think it depends too on like the context of the like
the friendship you saying?
Well, no, like if they're married, right? So
okay, yeah.
So like, could I be friends with somebody who's like the wife of someone who's married? Okay. Do you see what I'm saying?
Let's do both. Let's do married and single. Can people of the opposite sex be friends?
And single, so I would
both ways.
I think
married
so.
Or single.
Yeah,
you think so?
I believe so.
On so give me the married scenario first. So you were saying, what are you going to say about that?
I think it's a little different when you're married, like from what I've talked to, because this is so obviously we've had this
discussion.
This is not a new discussion.
This is true. We have had this discussion.
And to be honest, like I don't know, it was one of the when we first discussed it, it was something I hadn't like put a lot of thought, you know, like hadn't really like, I mean, you would think so, right? Yeah. But I think they're, you know, especially with somebody who's married or in a relationship, it's different. It's different. Definitely different. I think.
So meaning what? Explain like you're saying that
there's not like a close like, you know what I'm saying?
There needs to be some healthy separation.
Yeah, you're not best friends.
Not best friends.
I'm not like if I was married,
right?
And
talk about it.
And like my wife had a male best friend, that was like best friends with her. She talked all the time, you know, like it's just like, well, and then too, I've seen where some people like they'll be in a relationship and the girl like will talk to the friend about things like say they get in a fight and they talk like, no, like you're asking for trouble.
Agreed.
Yeah. And it's like, so I think if you have a best friend like that and say you do have a fight or something and she doesn't necessarily want to talk to her husband, how easy is it for her to go and be like, I'm going to text him or talk to him about this? And of course, like, what if the friend is interested? You know, he's I take your side. You know, I see where you're coming.
He's so wrong.
And the devil is always looking for a way to break up a marriage.
Amen.
So like, if there's an opportunity, and like, that's the thing, it's like
breach.
It's like maybe that doesn't happen, right? But like, if I feel like you're leaving the door open. Yeah. If that makes sense. Yeah. And I think it's like something we have to be on guard.
Amen.
Right.
Amen. So like, what does a healthy relationship look like between a single individual and someone that's married, you think? What's like a healthy interaction? What does that look like?
I don't know if like I have the right answer for that because, but I mean, I don't know. Like, I think it's okay.
I think about frequency.
Like, yeah, I guess too. You know like you not talking every day.
Right. Frequency.
You know, I don't.
Avoiding the appearance of evil.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And I don't see anything wrong with like let's say, so I'm single, right? So I've third wheeled a lot, you know?
Yeah, third wheeled, yeah.
But I don't like think there's something wrong with that, you know, necessarily.
Yeah, third wheeling is fine, but the question is like, would you ever be alone with another man's wife, like in a car?
No.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like,
yeah,
instinctively.
Yeah, it's like,
just because it looks like this looks evil. Like, what's this? Like, what y'all?
Yeah, I mean, right? maybe there's like a circumstance where like it's
someone's bleeding and dying. Maybe it's the circumstance.
Yeah, that's my thought process. Maybe there is something, but like I don't know. Like I guess I flip the tables a lot for it. So it's like, would I do that with somebody else's wife? But if it was flipped around and it was me and then it was my wife, right, how would I feel? Like, would I want that? So then that kind of like makes me think like, I don't know.
Yeah, doing the others, man. And then what about two single people that are of the opposite sex? What are your thoughts on that?
I think I don't necessarily see a problem with them being friends.
What does that look like?
I guess that to me, I guess that kind of looks, it would be up to them on their interest level. Like, I mean, because they could just be friends and like, you know, talk to each other at church when they see each other or something. But then if it's like, you know, if somebody becomes interested and say like, let's say the guy becomes interested and wants to pursue the girl, maybe he is a little bit more like, I guess, pursues her and tries to talk to her a bit more maybe. But like, if she's single, I don't see a problem with that.
No, for sure.
You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
But
do you think the friendship component changes though once someone reveals that they have romantic feelings towards the other person?
Yeah. So that's a tricky question, to be honest. Right. Like, I'm trying to think how to.
Because before that, everything's real relaxed. It's high by. Yeah. How you doing? Oh, we going here doing this. Are you going to this event, whatever. Yeah, woo. And it's just probably lightly in passing.
Yeah.
Maybe have some conversations here and there over a fellowship meal or something like, with the same events, same places. But as soon as someone's like, oh, I'm interested, does that change?
I guess it depends, like, maybe how the interest is like exposed in a way. You know what I'm saying? Like,
okay.
Like if you instantly were like, not, I think there's like some tactics or tactfulness, that needs to be done. But like,
once you know.
But yeah. But if you're like, hey, like, I'm kind of interested, maybe I want to get to, maybe want to talk to you some more, get to know you or something like that. And if the other person doesn't feel the same, obviously I think if they feel the same way, you would probably be like, yeah, or whatever. And maybe you could tell them. But if not, I don't know. I think in my opinion, it's as hard as it would probably be to be, honesty usually is always the best policy. And so like, yeah, I guess if you were to say, like, or if somebody was to say, hey, I'm interested in you, and the other person wasn't at the time, or maybe knew they never would be, or whatever. I don't know. I'm saying, like, they could just be like, hey, like, I'm fine with being friends with you and stuff like that, but I just don't feel the same way. Like, I think it's up to them, because if they don't, you open the door to like lead somebody on, or the person's going to continue pursuing you in a more interested way,
right?
And you're going to have to like fend that off.
Yeah.
Which is always uncomfortable. Like that. I can't. Yeah. I don't know if I'd like necessarily speak for me, but it just seems like that would be uncomfortable, right? If a guy is like constantly trying, or a girl or whatever, if you don't feel that way, and then, and I'm not saying you gotta like crush, but I think the feelings. It's like at that point too, you're like the feelings are not as vulnerable as they would be later on.
Or strong, right? Or
yeah,
strong.
yeah. Like I'm not saying
earlier on. It would
yeah,
be
like if you
say,
cut it off early, or like let them know, and then just be like, hey, like we could be friends, but I'm not saying this is like an easy thing to tell somebody, because it's like you don't want to like hurt somebody's feelings,
right?
But it's like if you let that person keep going, or you say, yeah, oh, cool, and like you keep going with it, and then you lead them on. That's kind of even worse.
It's worse. I think that's worse.
Yeah. But I think some people actually make that mistake and like lead somebody on because it's too hard to tell them the truth, because they don't want to necessarily hurt their feelings.
Or they like the attention.
Yeah, that's true.
But don't want to commit. You know what I mean? Because look, it's always nice to be admired.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care. It's always, if someone says they're into you, think you're attractive, like it's always, I don't know anybody who's gonna say, oh, I feel terrible now that you told me that.
Yeah.
You're gonna feel good to someone. Oh, that feels nice.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. So I think it's about maturity level too. I just asked because I think it's a question that I run past a lot of people, and I think me now being a widow, I've had to I'm crossing this bridge now for the first time in my life. Like, do opposite friendships exist? Do they work? I'm gonna be honest, I don't think I found one where eventually one of the parties starts to have feelings.
So you're saying, sorry, I'm gonna make sure.
Like, I don't think there's been a situation where I've seen a male and a female be friends where there's never been any feelings or potential for feelings in that friendship. You know what I mean? A lot of times I see one of the two starts to have a little feelings, start to look, turn the head a little bit and go, maybe this could work. I wonder.
Yeah, I guess. And I see what you're saying. Like, because it's kind of like
we're both single, right?
Yeah, and it's somebody, right? Like, obviously
you're talking to them
for friends. Like, to be friends with anybody, you obviously want to be around them.
You want to be around them.
Now, obviously
similar interests, maybe
for people who are two guys being
cool,
but it's like. But the reason we're friends is because we have the same interests, and like we enjoy, not being weird, but we enjoy talking to. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Jonathan loved David. David loved Jonathan. It was
but straight. It's like
straight. Yeah.
People at church. I have guys that they're there that are friends that like I went and ran with one today, and it was great. Like, because we're friends. You know what I'm saying?
Amen.
But and I'd like to talk to him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I think when you have somebody who's the opposite sex or opposite gender or whatever. Then, and you like to be around that person, you enjoy talking to them and stuff. Like, I can see why that would happen. So I guess I didn't answer your question earlier. It was like, does it change the friendship when somebody says that, right?
Yeah.
So once you say where you're at or where, like, whether you feel the same, it may not change. I don't know. I guess that depends on the people too. Like it depends on maybe the maturity level. Like some people might be mature enough to be able to handle still like doing like casually talking or saying hi at church or whatever. I feel like you almost would have to kind of continually clarify where you all stand.
Listen, I think that could be exhausting. The feelings that you are having for this person, for your friend of the opposite sex, can you just turn those off?
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I wouldn't think so.
Can you just wake up tomorrow? I have no more. There is not one ounce of romantic feeling towards you now.
So
because we had a conversation yesterday.
I will say personally, that has happened for me.
Okay, just turned off like next day.
Not like next day, but no, there was somebody back in high school that I actually was like really interested in for a long time, and we were like friends in school and stuff. And we would like stay after school and talk and everything. And then like, I guess like a year later when I finally was like, hey, you know, like, would you want to be more than friends? And it was kind of like, no, this isn't the right time. So like, all right, whatever. And then she ended up like dating some other people that were in our friend group, but we were still friends. Like it was weird. Like we stayed friends and like you know, I mean, I don't know. I might have still had some interest, but I don't think it was like, but I know for sure later on, like when I graduated and stuff after high school, she then was interested in me and wanted to go out with me and stuff. But like at that point I was like, no, like I just don't feel it. I even told her and like, you know, other friends in the group, cause other friends were like, you need to go out with her. She like, and I'm just like, man, I don't feel the same.
This ship has sailed, honey.
I mean, essentially, you know, right. But but like we still went and did stuff as a group and as friends and stuff. I intentionally did not, take her on like a date, like one-on-one or go out with her or anything. One-on-one, it was always with the group, like me and like one other friend was there, which actually she ended up marrying the other friend. Wow. So now they're married.
I wouldn't trust her, man. She's all over the place.
Nah, but
I bet it sounds like. But.
Yeah, so now they're married, and that was one of the weddings I was a groomsman in. So
ladies, don't miss the boat when it's leaving dock.
But no, like, and I still like am friends with her, and like, because it was weird because we were like, she's probably one of my best friends in high school.
Wow.
Yeah, and so like we were still, it's still like now that
how often do you talk to her?
I don't know. It's probably been over a year.
But you still feel friends. You still friends.
Yeah, I would.
The relationship is just there, right? It's just
no. Yeah, I would definitely count her as a friend, and like,
see, it's healthy. She's married now, so you're not talking to her no more. All right, so a couple questions: hookup culture, living together before marriage, polygamy. Sounds like you're against all those things. Would that be right? So hookup culture, polygamy, living together before marriage.
Oh, that sounds great. No, I'm just have the whole conversation like again, pretty much against that, and then just you get the question like, oh yeah, what's wrong with that?
That's fabulous. So the reason why I'm in you with this because hookup culture is prevalent right now. Polygamy is even prevalent right now. Well, one of us use the word prevalent, but it's out there. It's trending. Men believing that they can earn enough money or have enough perceived value that they could have more than one wife or multiple girlfriends. Females are actually agreeing to this for the dollars. My question to you is, why haven't you personally chosen to go any of these routes?
I want a marriage that like I don't know, like to me, like the vows, it's like, it is like when you say, you know, till death do us part, that's what that means. Like no matter what. And that's not, I don't know.
What about multiple wives?
No. There's just one for me.
One for you.
Yeah, I wouldn't want my wife having multiple husbands.
Come on.
So I don't know. I feel like that just like.
Come on.
That's not even fair to your wife. You know, like, I don't know. I feel like, how is your wife going to feel special when you have somebody else that you're being intimate with?
Yeah. And let me address something right here. This is going to say to us, oh, brother, but the Bible has polygamy. All right, listen. God didn't strike people dead for going outside the natural order and the ideal will. In the beginning, it was Adam and Eve, not Adam, Eve, and Deborah. Just Adam and Eve, okay? What you see scripturally are men doing it the wrong way and now having to take care of a woman that they deflowered. Now she becomes your responsibility. And God didn't say, oh, go put her away. No, you have slept with her. You become one flesh with her. You were only supposed to be one woman. Now you have 2, 3. You need to take care and provide for all those women. Historical context is important. You couldn't just deflower a woman. How's she going to take care of herself? in that context. So the Bible is not pro polygamy anywhere. God allowed it, and I think for very practical reasons. Okay, do all men cheat?
No.
No. Okay, I'm just saying. Some people think they do. So when it's clear the air, ladies, there are men that don't cheat. This is important because a lot of people that are out there, even Christians, are kind of nervous and don't want to get married because of these concerns. Oh, I'm gonna get cheated on anyway. Vows don't mean anything. Divorce rate is like 50%. So divorce rates like 50% in and outside of the church. People can cheat, but you still want to get married.
Yeah.
Tell me why.
I think a God could provide or provide a
He could bless it.
Yeah.
He could bless it.
Bless it and put the right person in my life, you know?
Putting the right two people together.
And I think there is a right person out there.
Come on.
Because God cares for all of us. So, you know, I think there is somebody that's for everybody.
Yeah.
You just
So you're saying if God puts it together, it can work.
Yeah. I think anything God puts together is definitely going to work. So, but no, I don't, and I guess, you know, the whole, like, do men cheat? Like,
Do all men cheat?
I don't think so. Like, no.
No,
But,
ladies, we're staying firm. No.
but, you know, and that's coming from, like, you know, my family tree does not have good histories for fathers being faithful on either side, like from my mom's side or my dad's side. And like my mom's dad was unfaithful to my grandma, and like same for on my dad's side. My dad never even knew his dad. And then there was like a stepdad that became, you know, like a father. And then, so my dad.
So let me say this to you as you say that. I think this is important to know because with limbs in our, you know, in our family tree, here you are still not desirous to be faithful to one woman, desirous to be married to one woman. So this is important for everyone to know, like, just because you're even coming from maybe not so good backgrounds and not having good, maybe even DNA or examples, doesn't mean that translates down to the next generation.
No.
You know what I mean? Because you're saying, hey, Gordon, I'm looking for one wife.
Yeah.
That I want to be faithful to.
My
to
dad's
death do us part.
My dad's at 6.
That's at 6?
He's on number 6.
He's on number 6 wives? Man, he needs to give it up, brother. 6, number 6.
Yeah.
He's just fornicating with marriage on top of it. That's all that is. Number 6. That's
yeah.
wild.
It's just that's not.
It's a lack of self-control, man.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. You people break up, get remarried, and it's like, yo, it's you. You are the problem. It's you, fam.
You would think, you know, the wives would realize that too after about 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah,
like they'd be like, hey,
that's a flag.
Yeah,
that's a huge flag.
Yeah.
Like you on your 5th marriage. Something wrong with you. What you have going on? Okay. All right. Your thoughts on traditional gender roles in the marriage?
Yeah, I mean,
do you think they need to exist? Can they exist? Do you have that expectation in your
like you mean like the
husband goes out, works, earns all the money, the wife stays home, does a lot of the raising and rearing of the children and doing the homekeeping and all that, the home economics and everything. What are your thoughts?
I don't think it has to be that way.
Okay. Yeah.
But like you know, I guess it depends on like a financial stance too. Like
this is a big thing.
Like if I make enough money to support the whole family, then
okay. Would you want your wife to work at that point?
Probably not, because if we had kids, I would preferably, knowing how the school systems are.
Come on, talk to me.
Them homeschooled.
Yeah, stay at home, mother, please.
Yeah.
All right. So if you had the finances, you would lean to a more traditional setup.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not like. I mean, if my wife didn't want to necessarily stay home and wanted to work, it would depend, I guess. Like if we definitely wanted to have kids and then I made plenty of money and she didn't have to work, but she wanted to keep working and we had to put the kids in public, we would have to discuss and figure some stuff out, I think, for that. But if we weren't going to have kids or something and we didn't have kids and she wanted to work, I'd be fine with that. I'm not like, you know, but if she didn't want to work and I could support it, then I'm fine with that too. Like, I don't know. I'm kind of like I don't want to force the role. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to like, if that's not really, but I think that's kind of something that should be discussed too.
Beforehand. Yeah. The due diligence.
Make sure you're both on the same page about that, because
agreed. Agreed.
If you're on two different pages, then you get there, then that could be a problem because you're both going to be wanting to do different things.
Agreed.
So yeah, I think like discuss beforehand.
Okay.
And like if you're on the same page for it, whether it's the fully traditional route or like the circumstances would work for the other way, then
the modern. Yeah. So my wife and I, when she was alive, we had no children.
Mm-hmm.
I really didn't see it was tight just on my income. It was tight. We didn't really see a need like have her stay home and be bored out of her mind. She didn't really have herself occupied. But I will say this, as she got promoted and moved up as a nurse, she did say sometimes as she got into administrative roles, she would find herself like it was kind of hard to kind of sometimes switch over the gear to be submissive in the home after having been the boss all day at work. Oh,
okay. Yeah.
For whatever it's worth, ladies, if you're listening, men, ladies here, just it was hard for her to, not hard, but she just noticed like, man, like I have to kind of switch a gear in my brain. Like, okay.
Yeah, you got to recognize you're in a different place.
A different place, So for whatever that's worth, I think I share a similar. So I'm open either or, but I think if I made enough money, and that would be my desire, and we had children, I absolutely would not want to put them anywhere.
Yeah.
I don't trust anybody.
No, I don't
trust anybody.
Yeah, and the thing is like
I would do two jobs if I had to.
It's so much worse now.
Yeah, it's terrible now.
When I was in high school, I don't think it was good, like because I went to public schools and stuff. But it's like 10 times worse than it was 10 years ago.
Between school shootings, teachers sleeping with the students, the ideologies, doctrines they're pushing,
the influence,
the influence of their peer group, the food they would be eating. I mean, it's just no wins. This is no wins. Now, if you're single, you got to do what you got to do. Maybe you can get them into a nice prep school or something, praying for you. But if I could avoid that, I would at all costs. So you want to have children?
Yeah, I mean, I would think so. I kind of used to be like more, not like when I was younger, which I'm not before. I don't know. I saw a lot of kids that I was like, I would not want that kid. I know that sounds terrible, but but now seeing kids from like
fabulous
from the church, that are in the church.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Yeah,
that's
totally different.
I'm so much different.
So listen, here's what I would say to you. You say, hey, I don't want that kid. Nobody wants that kid. So it's like you don't raise that kid.
Well, because
see what I'm saying? Like their parents did that.
Yeah,
like that child came out as a blank slate for the most part, right? And so that child, the parents allowed that child to get that bad.
Yeah, well, I didn't necessarily. I don't know. I always was worried. Like I guess I was worried about like how if I would be good at it, and I'm like, what if you're how hard would it be if your kid comes out
deformed or something?
No, not necessarily like, but like you have a kid and then he comes like. They ultimately make their own choices, right? Like
they have free will,
and they don't and they turn out like that. Like I was just like, because I didn't used to think that was a lot of when I was younger. I didn't realize that like parenting played a big role of it and like the influences and everything. But I mean, like for me, I thought my mom wasn't I love my mom. She did everything for me and like raised me and raised me and did everything. Like she played the role of both parents for me in a sense, And I like, to my opinion, she was the best mom ever, like, and yet I still wasn't great,
I hear you.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, how, I don't know. It would be.
Well, I mean, I don't know if you and I, my father left when I was about 11, had a stepfather that came around later on, but he was never my father. Love him to death, cool, but just wasn't my dad, right? So I just wonder, looking at yourself without your father being present, how big of a factor did that play in your behavior?
Probably.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, probably.
So even though your mom was knocking it out of the park, there's only so much she can do.
Yeah.
As a single parent. You feel what I mean? Right. And look, all the statistics show it, man.
Yeah.
When there's not a father in the home, men are more likely, boys are more likely to go to jail, commit crimes, be violent. It's a whole thing. Have behavior problems.
Yeah.
It's a whole list statistically, just from the father not being present in the home. You know what I mean?
So, yeah. So I think that probably would have helped. Especially like a father that's involved in church too. Like, because I mean, the children that are at our church are they're amazing. And that like kind of changed my perspective because I don't know, it made me see that it was possible to have amazing kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause it's like, I know it sounds bad, but it's like,
I don't bad like, witness. You like,
but people talk about, kids being a blessing, but like all the kids I had seen, like those weren't blessings. Like, I'm sorry. I know it sounds bad, but like, I don't know how
they were blessings.
Like, at least to me anyway.
Yo,
like, it's like,
real. That never turned me off, man, because I always knew, like, yeah, that kid's bad because his parents allowed him to be bad. That kid's difficult because, listen, because here's the thing. You're right. When you're 18, 19, 17, okay, it can get a little crazy because you got a lot of free will that you can actually exert to some degree. But come on, man, a 5-year-old, a 6-year-old, 2-year-old, come on, man. You're bigger than them, stronger than them. You have authority. Like, this is no reason for them to be misbehaving, man. And because listen, here's the thing. When you have children like that, and all the parents, don't hit us the wrong way, you don't want to be around them when they misbehave. You know what I mean? If you have a kid that's constantly a problem, a child, like you're wore out. Like I know parents like this that just wore out. I can't do it. They drive me crazy. It's like, yo, because you have to be consistent with them. So I'm with you. That's an interesting insight, though, that, I can say the same thing about marriage. I think, Gen Zs, millennials are getting married less now. Mm-hmm. And I think that's because they've seen so many marriages fail. Because I was that way.
Yeah.
I was like, man, I don't want to get married because everyone I seen got married got divorced. Or who was married got divorced. And what the Lord did for me was he put me around, he allowed me to see that there were older couples in my family that were still married. 20, 30, 40. I'm like, oh, yes. I'm like, okay. So I was having the same experience you had about marriage, not about children. I was like, I'm not getting married, man. That's crazy. I'm just going to shack up with somebody. I'm just going to live with them because I just see a lot of failure. And then God opened my eyes to see people who are actually successful the same way he did for you, to say, hey, man, there are good children out there. There are good parents. So that's crazy. My last question for you today, my brother, and thank you for coming by the No Pills podcast.
Honored to be here, man.
Yeah, it's been a blast. This is a good combo. What would be some tips or a tip or two you can give us that maybe you're using right now to find a spouse? Anything that you're using this in your toolkit that you're using?
I don't have much of a toolkit, man. You gotta like just follow God's leading and let him work, because I think he'll put the right people together. In some way or another. I feel like
what does that look like practically when you say follow God's leading? The person hearing that is like, okay, what is that? What does that mean? Follow God's leading, practically speaking. What does that look like?
You should pray about it consistently.
Praying consistently.
Like if you really want to meet somebody and be married, like pray about it like every day.
Yeah.
And pray that God like prepares your heart to be in a relationship.
Come on.
I know that's been like my prayers.
Yeah.
Because I want to be like, if I meet the right person, I want to be in the right place, like spiritually. Amen. And I want my heart to be in the right place, to be the right person for them. Because it's like, how awful would it be if like I meet that right person and then I'm not ready? You know what I'm saying? Like, Amen. Like if you were to try to be friends with somebody or try to enter into that like friendship, to like maybe be in a relationship or something, like just be intentional with what you all talk about. Like, and try to be, and as difficult and as awkward as it may seem, try to like find a way to be as open and real with the other person on how you all feel. Because I mean, like, how much easier would it be? Like, you don't have to play the games if you all both know where you stand.
True.
Like if I know that she's interested in me and I'm interested in her, it just makes everything so much like simpler. Like, I don't have to be worried like, oh man, does she like me? Or did I say something that was like, she's not going to like me now? Like all it's all silliness, it's so much like extra
stuff. Be a man, be a woman, be direct, be upfront, be honest.
It's so much like extra stress, like you're going to like stress yourself out worrying about it and everything.
Yeah. Versus just knowing.
Yeah. And it's like, okay, then at least you can like move on to try to to talk to somebody to maybe find the next person. And like, I think that if you pray about it and you like really just you truly trust God that he will bring the right person, and you be patient. Because his answer is not like always yes or
now.
Or right
later.
Yeah, it could be later. Maybe he's waiting for you to get the spot to be ready to be in that relationship. Or maybe he's waiting for that other person to be ready to meet you.
I would agree with that.
So, and I think when the time's right, if you pray about it and you like really trust that he will work, he will bless a lot, even greater than you can imagine. So.
Come on. My brother. Friends, you heard it here first, out of the mouth of Jacob. Love, fully scripted, no pills podcast, man. I'm Gordon McGee. We're signing off, and I'll catch you next week.